those steps. If it's a stairway, they'll show me the staircase. That's all I want to see, because I'm still wanting to know. I'm wanting to know, how do you get on that stairway to heaven? And then Kelvin, I know, going to come back and answer my question, which is my community concern question on this stairway to heaven. And I hope in that stairway to heaven that you're going to pass by the home, and you're going to pass by the church, and you're going to pass by the neighborhood. And this is my community's concern. My community concern the many, because my community wants to know why we do not have any free neighborhood swimming pools for the little people, not for the teenagers, but for the little people. We want to know why are the jails filled with young Americans. Young Americans, we want to know. We want to know why are there so many neighborhood industries that's closing. We want to know. We want to know why there are so many people taking bankruptcy. We want to know. We want to know why there are so many banks closing. Why are there so many people out of work and out of jobs? We want to know. We want to know why we as Americans are not preparing for our young Americans, why we're not preparing jobs for our young Americans. We want to know. Wake up, America. I want to know.
Well, Mrs. Hunter, you need to know. But I think that I'm listening to you, and I'm having a good time because of the fact that you put responsibility back on my shoulders. You know, you put the responsibility not on your generation, not on a generation before you, but it's right on my generation. You know, what is my generation doing about the kids? How am I taking care of my kid? Does my kid want to go out there and run around, go out and buy some drugs? Does my kid want to be a part, if he's a bank president or a grocery cashier? Does he want to do the very best that he can do? That's what's important. Wayne feels it, I feel it. I think it's very important because we need to climb that stairway, not only to heaven, but to a better life for all of us in Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, our nation, all around the world. We can do it. And, you know, thanks to you, people like you who've taken the time out to give us the guidance, we can do it. And I know we will do it because of the fact that we have to do it. We're concerned also about the good things that will be happening, the good things that we can help make happen, especially if you're listening to the Clara Luper radio show right here on KBYE 890 on your radio dial, live and in living color, and you got a few minutes.
The man said 890 on your radio show. Come on down to Burger Brothers grocery store.
You know, that's a heck of a place.
412 South Harvey. The number is 232-7511. Come on down to Burger Brothers now. Let's come on down there and buy some of them good ribs and some of them pork chops and things, y'all. Come on down. Come on in and listen to the Clara Luper show. We want to get off into the Clara Luper show for us, the NAACP convention. What we need to do is the calls have not been, call a friend. We have not been coming in with it like we have been. Let's come on in with the Clara Luper show. Come on, let's get on down with it.
Well, we don't have to worry about the getting on down with it, Wayne. You know, we have a great time. You know, as a Minuteman, we did a lot of hard work. There were times when people would throw water in our face. There were times when people would bring monkeys around us. But then we've lived it. We've been through it. And our best advantage now is to share that. Now, what do you think about the disadvantages, the advantage, or the whatever it is? What can we do to help make our country, our city, our home a better place?
It's not up to what we should do. It's what they should do. They need to all get together, and let's come on back with our drive. Like, what did we have? We used to have our drive, the young people. Now we do not have it. Let's get back off into our drive, the membership drive. Let's get back into the NAACP. Let's come on back and get back off into this. This is Baby Wayne coming to you. I'm not socking soul to your household anymore. I'm coming to you 24 hours a day. I'm going to stay in your mind. Come to me.
All right. That's what to say. Boy, I tell you, it's a great time. You know, we got a lot of talent. And thanks to the NAACP, thanks to people like Ben Tipton, thanks to people like the Lynch family, thanks to KBYE, KAZ. You know, we've gained our experiences. We have knowledge. We have the talent. We have more than that. We have something that this community needs to share. And we're willing to share it with you. But it's an important thing to it. We're not going to come to you drugged out. We're not coming to you talking about no drugs. We're talking about things that are positive. We're talking about places like M&W Welding Company where you can get a good and great job done. We're talking about Sir Charles Taylor, another young man that's been through the city and movement that does great tailor work. We're talking about the House of Bingo where George Singer gives you the very best in entertainment. Dr. Dow.
That's Mr. George Single and Dr. Dow.
That's right.
Where you get your eyeglasses at? You go to Dr. Dow and get your eyeglasses. Dr. Dow, he's the best man in town.
But not only can
fill
you get
your
eyeglasses, but you can get eye treatment. You know, he takes care of you not only to put some on your ears.
Eye treatment too. Okay, he
he's
take care of
tough,
eye
man.
treatment too.
He's tough.
So y'all come on in.
Well,
Be with a friend. Let's give our people support. Come on in now. Oh, Sherry's Cleaners. Come on down to Sherry's Cleaners. Come on down to Sherry's Cleaners. We pick up the clothes for senior citizens. Bring them back Thursdays. Pick them up on Thursdays and bring them back. Come on down to 490, 4901 and a half North Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, what I said. Martin Luther King, the phone number is 427-9302. I said 427-9302. Come on down to Martin Luther King.
that's right. Sherry's Cleaners, Sherry's Laundromat. Say, it's some great things that happen. We're talking positivity. We're talking about some things that are going to help you, going to help your kids, and going to help your kids help their kids. You know, it's another thing that me and Mrs. Hunter have not had an opportunity to talk about, and that's babies making babies. Are we breeding ignorance? No. Are we breeding ignorance? You answer that question for your own self. Because there could be a probability. But I want you to sit back. I know you're relaxed. I know you're having a good time. And I know that you're enjoying today's Clara Luper radio show. And there's so much that me and Mrs. Hunter have to talk about. Wayne, we're going to get right back with you in a minute. But then after we get back from going down Martin Luther King Avenue, stopping by there at 24th and North Martin Luther King, and you got to say, Giuseppe, I heard it on the Clara Luper show, to get a goodbye on some California jams, New York jams. Giuseppe got it. So I want you to make sure that you stop by there and do it. But Wayne, do you have anything you'd like to say with us in parting?
Well, I would just like to say, for this moment that I'm on the Clara Luper show, I want everybody to remember the membership for the Clara Luper, the NAACP membership. Let's get back off into our drive like we used to do. Come on. Everybody come down. Let's get on down like we were. You remember? Bishops, blacks, I remember. Can you remember? Come on with it. Can you remember? Come on with it.
All right. I know one person out there that is sitting back and relaxing and is a part of today's show. That's nobody other than my very sweet, beautiful, dynamic, intelligent, and I don't know another adjective that I could say, but I'm talking about Merlin Hilger with Allstate Insurance Company. She's great. She's fantastic. The company she works with is great. They're fantastic. But, you know, Merlin wouldn't do a half job. She's kind of like all of us that have been a part of the NAACP. She's like all of us who have had the opportunity to go to a national convention. She's like those of us who've seen the inspiration that black folk, white folk, working together can do. So sit back, relax, and join hands with somebody that's very close to you. But ordinarily we have our funeral and death announcements, but not today. Not just yet, maybe, because we're going to talk about a good friend, and it's really sad, but I'm certain that he's up there now looking down at us and making certain that we're doing our very best, because that was the kind of man he was, the kind of person that he would take the time out to be just a friend. Take the time out. If he saw you doing something wrong, he would pull your coat, and he might even call your parent. You know? So, but we're talking about Mr. George Ferguson, and Mrs. Hunter has a lot more to say about it. But you heard it right here on the Clara Luper radio show.
I do want to express my heartfelt sympathy to the entire family of George Ferguson. I've been a personal friend not only to George Ferguson, but for many members of his family. I knew George Ferguson as a Christian man, and this is what I'd like to relate now. George Ferguson did pass away on Friday, and his services is pending with McKay and Davis. We have a few others who passed away also, and before I tell you what I want to say about George Ferguson, I'd like to give you those names. We have Joyce Ward of Oklahoma City, who died also on Friday. His service is pending with Roth's Funeral Home. We have Anna Glover of Oklahoma City, who died Thursday. Service 11 a.m. at St. John's Baptist Church, Roth Funeral Home. We have Mrs. Terrell, who passed away on yesterday, and her services are pending. George Ferguson, I first want to say that he was one of the founders of the first AME church that was located on 23rd in Glen Ellen, and that was the church where I belong. He was the first president of the Layman's Organization of the 12th Episcopal District. He was also President Emeritus. He served for 60 long years as a steward, as a senior pastoral steward. He served many years at Avery AME Church, where he was a devotional leader there at Avery Church. One thing I can always say about George Ferguson, he was always on time, and he and his wife went as a family. If she was the superintendent, George Ferguson was there to assist her, and you could always count on Mr. George Ferguson. Whatever his wife, any organization that she was in, Mr. George Ferguson was there. Whatever organization George Ferguson was in, Mrs. George Ferguson was there. They shared their love. They shared their finances. And they shared their finances. They were sympathetic with all young people because they wanted to see young people progress. They wanted to see young people get ahead. And he was always wanting to see the young people in Sunday school. He was interested in young people. And he also would always help and assist in any of the auxiliaries of the church, from the front door all the way up to the pulpit. If there was a need and if there was aid that needed to be given, George Ferguson was giving. George Ferguson was also a former president of the Negro Chamber of Commerce. He did not stop there. He also worked in politics. And strictly, you really saw him doing Bowen's administration, because he believed in trying to select leaders that were going to make a contribution to our community and to our society. To me, George Ferguson was a leader. Not only was he a Christian leader, but he was also a citizen. He also was a good citizen. As I can try to reminisce, I can only think of the good days. And the thing that I remember most, that each Sunday that I would say I'm going to beat George Ferguson to Sunday school or to church or to whatever auxiliary was there, you might well count it out. Because when you arrived, George Ferguson would be there and on the front seat. He never took a back seat in his church. He always wanted to be up front. And the purpose for being up front is because he wanted to be of service, and he wanted to be where he could be reached if he was needed. This is our George Ferguson. And again, I say to the family, I express to you my deepest love. And as the songs say, take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there, because no one can care, no one can help more than he.
Miss Hunter, you're so true, you're so right. And to the family of George Ferguson, I want them to know that because of him, that we're all a lot better. He's helped us so many. And even if we weren't in his family, we felt his presence. We appreciated his presence. This song here that we're going to play just a little bit of, I don't know, Wayne, you tell me about it.
This is The Stairway to Heaven, the other part by the OJs. This is KBYE AM. On your radio dial, we are leaving you with this here in your mind. This is the